Hello, good morning from chilly day in Luang Prabang. This is the first time in a year that I feel like it's quite cold and also windy as well. As you can see behind me, there's the boat. I'm right here on my favorite spot by the Nam Khan River, and further down there is a bamboo bridge. Traveling overseas is fun, enjoyable, and an eye-opening experience. You get to meet new people, trying new cuisine, and experiencing new culture. But there's one thing for us as tourists that sometimes we tend to forget, to be aware of when in foreign country, and that is the cultural sensitivity. So one of the most obvious don't in Laos. So number one is don't touch somebody else's head. In Lao culture, head is considered to be the most spiritual part of the body, and you don't want to touch people's head. I mean, patting somebody else's head is such a nice feeling, is an innocent act, but in Lao culture, you don't want to do that, otherwise you can offend people. For parents, touching their children's head is fine, but for us as complete strangers, don't do it. People don't feel comfortable. I mean, it depends on the person. I mean, me personally, I love being touched on my head. It's kind of relaxing and it makes me sleepy. So if we hang out, you can touch my head, I don't mind. And number two is don't point your feet on local people. As the head is considered to be the most spiritual part of the body, the feet is quite opposite, is considered to be dirty. So you don't want to point your feet, on somebody else. I saw it on the bus a few times with tourists who were not aware of this sensitivity, and they stick their feet, on the back seat of local people, and for us that is considered to be rude and disrespectful. So if you're in Laos, please avoid doing that. We find it very offensive. And number three is don't wear short when entering the temple. I mean, there's no specific dress code for entering the temple. It can be something modest and conservative. Just cover your shoulder and your knee. And if you don't have shirt, like long shirt, just put your scarf around your shoulder. That should be perfect. And cover your knee just to respect our culture, and people will appreciate that. And number four is do not touch the Buddha statue when you come to the temple. I mean, in Buddhist culture, Buddha's image is considered to be sacred and should be worshipped and respected. So you can take picture, get close, but don't touch it. And in case you wonder why people are allowed to sell the Buddha statues anyway, well, the idea of selling Buddha statue in the first place is, for Buddhist people who want to buy the Buddha statue and put in their shelter in their house, because almost in every Buddhist house they have their little shelter with the Buddha image, where they pay respect and pray sometime during the Buddhist holiday. So that's the main idea. But now it has become a big business and big trading, like in Indonesia, in Bali. There are plenty of shops selling Buddha statues, and tourists buy them for decoration, and you don't see Buddhist people decorate their home with Buddha statues because it's inappropriate. So yeah. And number five is don't wear shoes inside the house. In Lao culture, shoes are considered to be not clean, so every time when people enter the house, they would take out their shoes. So if you're invited into Laos house, please make sure you take off your shoes to be respect. But in the shops or in store, in restaurant, it's fine. You can just wear shoes. People don't say anything. And number six is avoid talking about politics, because it's quite sensitive topic to talk about. Even, for us as local people, we can't even talk about it. And please make sure you avoid it. I mean, sometimes people talk, a little bit, but not getting into deeper than that. It can be dangerous, so please be aware. And number seven is do not comment about somebody else's dark skin, especially for women. They can find it very offensive. In a country like Laos, not just Laos, in Southeast Asia and many part of Asia in general, having lighter skin represents status. So having tan skin means you're poor and you're a farmer working in the farm. So people don't want to look like that. So that's why a lot of people in Laos trying to protect their skin as hard as possible, putting very thick jacket, in this heat to protect their skin from sunburn. So don't comment about, somebody else's dark skin. And number 8 is don't comment about somebody else's weight loss. Because in Lao culture, by commenting on somebody else's weight loss is kind of insulting. It kind of means that, are you telling them that they're starving themselves, they can't afford to buy meals to feed themselves or something? I found it quite irritating sometimes when I came back from holiday. You know, my kind of traveling is rough, you know, on the train, on the bus, like hours and hours, and sometimes skip my meal, and plus the food that I can't eat much. Especially when I was in India, I came back to Laos, you know, got skinny, and you know, my friends kind of, wow, you lost your weight a lot, and I found it a little bit irritate, you know. So just avoid it. Maybe better to say, you know, oh, you have gained weight, people will appreciate it. And number 9 is don't reject the offer. So when you're invited into Laos households, you know, as hospitable and as welcoming as a lot of people are, sometimes they don't even ask, you know, whether or not you need drink or snack. They just serve it to you. So for you as guests, just accept it and they'll be very appreciated. But if you reject it, that means you're insulting them. If it is something that you cannot eat or allergic to, you just tell them so. They'll be, you know, very happy to just change it for you, you know, get you something else. Anyway, there's something that a lot of people talked openly, but some tourists find it very uncomfortable and irritating, and that is about money and marriage. In Laos, we talk openly about money, you know, how much you earn and how much you have and stuff like that. And also, you know, the marriage, you know, have you married or how old are you? Do you have any children and stuff like that? So I really hope that when you come to Laos, when you got asked this question, please don't find it offensive. It's very open. And another thing that a lot of people talk openly and sometimes make joke about it, but tourists take it serious, that is about money and gift. Let's say if today's my birthday, I will say to my friends, like, you know, today's my birthday, I need a car, you know, get me a car. And the best response to this is, which color you want, you know, which brand do you want? It's just a joke, you know, we didn't mean to take it serious. So if you're in Laos and you're joining somebody else's birthday party, and if they say that to you, just chill, just make a joke back, you know. Anyway, this is my update for today, and I really hope that this can help you to prepare before you come to Laos. Have a good day. Bye.